Hello, my name is Mike and I'm going to present another yoga teaching video, a 30-minute practice. And today I'm going to focus more on some meditation. And yoga, as we've probably heard, is a method for leading in towards an experience of meditation. At least that's what I've found to be beneficial for me, is reducing anxiety, having some of the physiological benefits of the practice, and also enhancing the meditation. So we're just going to start with some awareness, finding a comfortable seated posture. You sit on our ankles like I just was, or sitting cross-legged, or if you can do the lotus posture. Here I'll be sitting cross-legged and starting with some foundational movement awareness. And really this is going to be very minute movement, meaning that we're going to focus first on the breath and the posture. So let's close our eyes for a moment and become aware of being seated on the ground. And now lengthening in our posture, opening up from the back and raising the top of the head up as we're lengthening the back. Noticing now where the breath goes. Is it a deep breath? Are we winding down from a lot of movement? Is it resting on the exhale? And let's begin to feel the rounded breath. Slow, deep inhale, but not forcing, and exhale naturally, finding where we are, where the breath goes. Into and out of the nostrils, returning the awareness to the seated posture. Grounded down into the ground. And then raising up, extending the back, reaching the top of the head up towards the sky. Take some more breaths here. Enhancing the awareness in the seated meditation posture. If any time during this seated meditation, you can always feel free to move a bit or even focus more on the breath and the posture. But if there is a need to move some, moving the wrists, moving around from the waists to the neck, as we're settling in and becoming more aware of the seated posture. I'm going to take a few minutes to show you one way that I sit in meditation, which is a part of yoga practice. There is actually some traditional type meditation, which a friend taught me when I was a teenager. And he actually made me this bench here. Well, actually, he made me another bench that was smaller because I was in high school. And then that one, I have to, there's a part that came a little loose on it, but it's kind of small for me now. And he eventually sent me this one, which is a bigger meditation bench. He actually has his initials engraved here, DGB. And it's got leather. It had a Komodo dragon skin thing here. It fell off and it's somewhere. I think I still have that. And I forget what kind of wood it is, but yeah, he made this homemade decades ago. He basically bolted in some nail looking things here. And I believe that yoga is a method of moving into meditation practice. And after reading some basic philosophy from the yoga, it seems like stilling the mind is part of that whole process. And there's even some that say that the actual physical yoga postures are what help us to prepare for sitting in meditation for long periods of time. So, today I'm going to demonstrate the use of this bench. Basically, you just, instead of sitting right on the heels, like in some type of traditional Zazen posture, you can sit on the bench instead and put our feet underneath here. Or you could use a cushion, say cross-legged, elevating the hips from the ground, or just on the ground. So for today, I'm just going to use the meditation bench. And we'll just sit for a good 15-20 minutes and notice what you experience. In the meditation bench posture or sitting in the heels, we can sit like this with our spine extended the same way, or seated on the ground. It's the same concept, but with this, it's a little easier to keep my spine straighter, not fall into crunching, because I'm not as flexible yet with sitting just on the ground without some support. So again, we'll go into the seated meditation. It'll take a few minutes here. Finding a settling posture, focusing on the breath, and entering into some awareness. bringing some of the awareness back into the body, the extremities, the head, being aware of the posture still. If you need to rest a moment, that was about 5 minutes. In my mind, I was always, different things appearing and even fidgeting a bit, of course. Usually takes me about 35 minutes or so. A good 40 minutes for the mind to settle in my case. And a lot of times, to be honest, I'm listening to music when I'm doing yoga or just sitting in meditation. So sitting with just the ambiance, whatever your actual environment is, and whatever's going on in your mind, that's a whole different experience. Whatever posture we're finding ourselves, we can take some time to stretch the legs a bit and the arms. Let's move into a seated, if you want to remain in the meditation, it's fine. But for the purpose of this yoga practice, let's extend the legs and noticing the lengthening of the back again and the reaching of the head up towards the sky. Taking a deep breath and raising up through the arms. And exhaling, folding forward. Reaching forward with that flat-ish back. And exhaling as you're lowering the abdomen towards the thighs. Extending the heart towards the feet. And raising the head forward instead of curling it down. This just encourages more lengthening, which is different from what we might be used to, sitting and collapsing like this. There's something really harmful that's going to happen from that, but the purpose is to kind of open us up a bit, so to speak. We can also find ourselves maybe in the butterfly posture, putting our feet together, then letting the thighs come down to the ground on each side or toward the ground. Sitting in the cross-legged posture, we can reach, stretching up and over towards each side with the arms. Inhaling up and exhaling, reaching towards the other side. Keeping our sit bones rooted into the ground. Noticing what this feels like. Maybe in our cross-legged posture, we can switch our legs if you want, or extending from the back and folding forward down towards the ground, the forehead towards the ground. Feeling an opening up along the back, down towards the waist. Taking a few breaths here. And raising up into a seated posture, placing our hands beside the sit bones and pressing our shoulders back and down, keeping our back straight. Taking a few breaths and appreciating the opening of the chest with some deep breaths. can do some side head lateral bends, inhaling and exhaling, letting our right ear come towards the right shoulder for a few breaths, engaging the neck muscles and noticing some sensation along the left neck. Not just letting it droop, but keeping it engaged and actively moving it. So instead of just letting the neck drop, we're actively using the muscles to laterally flex now towards the other side. And this feeling a sensation, kind of a stretching sensation along the other side of the neck. Now we can take a breath and exhale, moving our chin towards the chest, and then rolling the head towards one side, one shoulder, ear towards the shoulder, and then rolling back down towards the chest, towards the other shoulder, and rolling down towards the chest. Maybe repeating for another round, and then returning to the awareness of our seated posture. We'll do another 5 minutes of meditation. You can remain seated here, or return to the other modified posture, sitting on a pillow or a cushion, something more firm, and also the option of using a meditation bench. Or if you prefer, laying down on the ground in corpse pose. Finding ourselves seated again, and we can put our hands on our thighs. We can put our hands in a mudra type formation. This is what I learned when I'm seated in this posture, is to place this on the thighs. But any way which feels appropriate for you. We'll spend about 5 minutes here. And then becoming aware of the environment again and our body. Moving out from the seated meditation. And finding ourselves in the same seated posture. Do another seated forward fold, extending the legs forward, extending through the back and raising the arms up and folding forwards. Hands toward the ground, chest towards the feet. For a few breaths as we're exhaling and folding. Raising up, finding that seated posture again, maybe cross-legged. Let's place our hands next to the sides of each sit bone, pressing into the ground and rolling the shoulders back and down, opening the chest with a few breaths. Fingers spread wide. Then returning to the seated position, wherever's comfortable, taking a few rounded breaths here. A few deep exhales. And we can return to this silent meditation practice at any time, finding the posture with awareness of the breath. We'll just end the practice, hands together, and namaste.